November 30th, 2021. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us for the 6 p.m. English news over Camdis television. Let's begin right away with our headlines. The Minister of Sports and Physical Education, who doubles as the president of the local organizing committee of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, has reassured Cameroonians and the African football fraternity that the Olembe Stadium will be officially handed over to the Confederation of African Football on Friday, December 3rd, 2021. How to bring education to the crisis-stricken regions of Cameroon, the minister delegate to the Minister of External Relations in charge of relations with the Commonwealth, Felix Mbagno, has this Tuesday, November 30th, granted audience to the Norwegian Refugee Council. In prelude to the International Day for Persons Living with Disabilities, the 4th edition of the Festival of Disabilities on Stage has been organized this day at the Croix Rouge here in Yaoundé. Those were our headlines. We'll be right back. As you heard in one of our lead stories, the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, who doubles as the president of the local organizing committee of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, has reassured Cameroonians and the African football fraternity that the Olembe Stadium will be officially handed over to the Confederation of African Football on Friday, December 3rd, 2021. He was speaking this Tuesday, November 30th at the Olembe Sports Complex while commissioning experts for the technical reception of the facility. We have details with Isaac Ngonko.
This Tuesday, 30th November 2021, was a historic day at the Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé, with all eyes turned on the Sports and Physical Education boss, who doubles as the president of the local organizing committee of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. Minister Narcisse Mwele-Kombi stormed the construction site, bubbling with confidence, even if the official reception date has been scheduled for December 3, 2021, and this for a good reason, considering the gigantic and complex nature of the stadium. To all these experts, I call on them to work with professionalism, rigor, abnegation, and a high sense of expertise, taking into consideration the gigantic and complex nature of the task lying ahead of them. They will have to literally do room-by-room evaluation of all the 500 parts of the complex, the different systems installed here, like high and low current, sound, image, Wi-Fi, and so on and so forth, because Olembe is not only a sports complex, but it is also an architectural and technological complex of high standard for which all the state organs have been mobilized. The experts know fully well what is expected of them in the next 2 days or so.
We will check the quality of installation, we will check the quality of equipment, on all auto control with assurance quality. Okay. And we can check also the equipment inside room by room.
Cameroon might have succeeded to beat the CAF November 30th deadline, as the stadium is unarguably ready for international games, but additional time of 3 days for experts and McGill Construction to do finishing touches means the country is ready for nothing but the best.
Back to essential is the slogan adopted by Gilles Denis Onana, one of the candidates at the Cameroon Football Federation this year. This was made during a public press conference on Monday, November 29, 2021 at Dwega Palace Hotel here in Yaoundé. We have details with Isaac Ngonko.
As far as the former indomitable lion is concerned, the prestigious position of Fcfa president is going to be occupied by no other candidate but Jules Denis Onana after the December 11 elections. He is confident he has all it takes to emerge winner.
I've seen that we have worked very hard to give something very special for the next 4 years. So I'm very confident. I'm very confident for the elections.
Talking to the press Monday night in Yaoundé, Jules Denis Onana detailed his 10-point program, all centered on the slogan, "Back to the Essential."
Back to the essential is come back and talk about football. Football on the pitch. And the main actor on the pitch is the football player. You cannot build any football without the football on the pitch. And if you start to talk about things around the pitch, you lose your way. Come back to the essential, back to basics, to the thing that matters the most, that is the football player. And then you start building from there.
When asked questions on how he will react if he is not elected, the Fcfa presidential aspirant responded he will push for the triumph of his ideas to make Cameroonian football great again.
And we'll try hard because we know what are the real problems of the Cameroon football. And we have the solutions. Anything cannot be solved just by a click of hand or fingers, but we know the way to try to solve, because things happen in other countries with good result. Those things can be just implemented in Cameroon. We have the faith that we are on the good track to give solutions to start again in Cameroon football.
The press conference was attended by some football legends, friends and family of the candidate, and a plethora of national and international press men.
Away from our sports page, let's now talk something else where some two government ministers have defended their 2022 budget allocation before the Finance and Budget Committee of the National Assembly. The Minister of Economic Planning and Regional Development and the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reform were face-to-face with the committee this Monday, November 29th at the Conference Center in Yaoundé. We have details with Bertrand Tita.
First to mount the ostrom was the Minister Delegate to the Ministry of the Economy, Planning and Regional Development, Paul Tasson, who presented the 2022 roadmap of the ministry before clearing the air on pertinent questions from the committee members. The National Development Strategy 2020-2030 was top on the agenda.
Execution of the 2021 work plan, which is ongoing but which is folding up. The members of the commission were very interested in a couple of things. They wanted to be sure that everything is in place for the national development strategy to attain expected results, for which we assured them that priority works to make sure that the strategy takes off very well have been done or are ongoing. But that said, many of the structural reforms which are expected to set the tone for the strategy to take off have either been undertaken or are in the process of being so.
The issue of national census was another boiling point raised by the committee members.
The population census preliminary works are all done. Naturally, everything being equal, in the course of 2022, we should be able to do the head count. And I must insist that there are two censuses that will be done at the same time. The general population and housing census, as well as a very important agricultural and livestock census.
Next on line was the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reforms, Joseph Lee, who defended a budget of 13.9 billion CFA francs, which will focus more on the acquisition and implementation of a collaborative digital platform with the Ministries of Basic, Secondary, Higher and Health, dedicated for the authentication of certificates produced by public employees in order to reduce the exceeding time of fine. the support to institutions under the Ministry of Public Service, such as the Advanced School of Administration and Magistracy and the Advanced Institute of Public Management, were well spelled out by the minister.
In prelude to the International Day for Persons Living with Disability, the 4th edition of the Festival of Disabilities on Stage has been organized this Tuesday, November 30th in Yaoundé. With the aim of restoring the dignity of the disabled, the festival was graced with activities like dancing, singing and theater art presented by the establishment of inclusive education. We have a details in the following report.
Disabilities are able. It is with this slogan that opened the 4th edition of the Festival Disabilities on Stage this Tuesday, November 30th in Yaoundé. Organized by the Resource and Animation Cycle for the Deaf, the festival is aimed at restoring to the child, especially the disabled child, her dignity and well-being.
We are very happy and very great to be here with all the person who have many problems. We have an opportunity to confirm our disponibility to
exclusion. As far as International Disabled People Day is concerned, it will be celebrated on December 3rd. So there are many activities. Among them, this is one of the activities.
Under the theme, Build an Inclusive Society to Restore the Dignity of the Disabled, the ceremony was graced with activities such as singing, dancing and theater art presented by the various establishments for inclusive education. It equally saw the presence of some great entrepreneurs who came to support these children and put a smile on their faces.
I will continue to put all my energy to continue to support this handicapped youth in Cameroon.
People living with disabilities can also become great personalities in the society, such as ministers, governors, mayors, and other great professions. There is therefore the need to break the barriers for a just society.
Getting around traveling agencies in the city of Yaoundé has now become an obstacle. The roads in these areas are narrow, coupled with the fact that businessmen and women are trading on the street, thereby causing traffic. Our reporter, Jan Ninkam, visited some traveling agencies in the city of Yaoundé and compiled the following report.
Circulation within major cities at certain hours of the day is almost impossible. Stopped on the same spot for close to hours, with the harshness of the sun not favoring the situation, has become the order of the day for most hustlers. Visiting most renowned traffic zones in Yaoundé, notably Van, Tongolo and Carrefour Biemasi, where most interurban travel agencies are located, the alarming traffic situation has been blamed on the haphazard way in which the buses operate, with most agencies having little or no parking space, while the sanitation situation is also a call for concern.
Le problème des embouteillages.
We have a problem of traffic which disturbs us a lot. There are agencies which create traffic and long buses. People need adequate space to park the buses to avoid traffic. My taxmen brothers equally have to stop behaving like people who did not go to school before taking the wheel. We also have hygiene problems. Anybody caught throwing dirt in water will be sanctioned, which will serve as an example to others. We are calling on the city council to support us. Cars are not well positioned. There is not enough space for cars to park. People are congested on the same spot, and this happens every time on the road. One agency will park at least 10 cars, thereby occupying space, and taxis do not have enough space to park and drop passengers. The council agent do controls only within the agency, which is not normal. Police is never here to control the situation.
Pour construire les agences là-bas, pour que les agences partent là-bas, parce qu'il n'y a pas l'embouteillage avant. Parce que les agences sont à côté pour tourner la voiture, ça cause l'embouteillage.
As end of year's festivity approach and the African Cup of Nations, the country looks forward to hosting in the days ahead. Everyone is just wondering and pondering as to how circulation will look like during that period.
The minister delegates to the Minister of External Relations in charge of relations with the Commonwealth, Felix Mbanyo, has received in audience this Tuesday, November 30th, the representatives of the Norwegian Refugee Council and Education Cannot Wait. Both parties discussed on how to bring education to the crisis-stricken regions of the country at a time when going to school is almost considered a crime worth the death penalty in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Isaac Ngonkum has more in the following report.
The education of young people in Cameroon has become a call for concern, not just for the government, but international partners. This Tuesday, 30th November 2021, the Minister Delegate to the Minister of External Relations in charge of relations with the Commonwealth, Felix Mbanyo, received two high-profile guests in Yaoundé who are concerned about the educational situation in the far north, northwest, and southwest regions of Cameroon.
We're here on a joint mission, Norwegian Refugee Council and Education Cannot Wait, Shashmin Sharif, to see for ourselves the needs in Cameroon. It's a country where there has been COVID pandemic as in all other parts. It's a country that is seeing the effects of climate change, and there is violence and conflict in certain parts of the extreme north and the southwest and northwest.
They brought good news for young boys and girls who have been deprived the right to education for more than 5 years running because of the multiple crises affecting the country.
We're here to help. We're here to, in particular, help children back to school. Girls and boys need hope. Their families need hope. Education cannot wait. Education means that the nation is developing, that there is a future. We are going to see for ourselves the effects of the closure of schools by guns in the southwest and northwest. We are heartbroken that too many children are out of school. We're here to help bring children back to school, as we're here to help the displaced people and the refugees from the Central African Republic that Cameroon is generously hosting in the east. We're here to serve, we're here to help.
It is hoped that this aid from the Education Cannot Wait non-governmental organization and the Norwegian Refugee Council will go a long way to solve the education equation in Cameroon, where going to school has become a crime in some parts of the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, you're watching the 6 p.m. English news over the Republican television. Let's now take you out of the country where the Brazilian police burned gold miners' booth in Amazon. This raid comes as a President Jair Bolsonaro has pledged a pivot in his permissive approach to deforestation. And in Morocco, flights have been suspended due to the new COVID-19 variant. We have this and more in the following report with Ruth Fonyo.
Brazil's government says police burned 131 boats used by illegal gold miners in the heart of the Amazon rainforest. The operation marked a shift in direction for the administration of President Jair Bolsonaro, which has seen an increase in deforestation following its initial weakening of environmental protections and a more permissive approach to gold miners tapping natural resources in the region. On Saturday, smoke began wafting over the Madeira River, where images over the last week have shown hundreds of boats gathered as miners search for gold. Bolsonaro has been criticized for not stating how his government plans to meet his pledge of ending illegal deforestation in the country by 2028. Senegal's President Macky Sall firmly opposed ending financing for fossil fuel extraction, saying the move would deal a fatal blow to economies like the West African country. A small group of countries, including the US and France, agreed at the COP26 climate summit to end financing for overseas unabated fossil fuels, those without carbon capture technology, by the end of 2022. Blocking financing for the gas sector will add a great economic injustice to the climatic injustice Africa is already suffering more than any other continent. Hard up, Senegal hopes that gas and oil deposits discovered off its Atlantic coast in recent years will lift its fortunes, aiming to pump the first barrels within 3 years. In Morocco, the suspension of all incoming flights from this Tuesday has come into effect. This comes in response to the new Omicron variant, and it will be in place for 2 weeks. For many, like Charleroi resident Mohamed Bekouai, it meant a last-minute scramble to travel on Monday night. In social networks, the Moroccan Foreign Ministry and the decision was taken to preserve the progress made last year during the pandemic. Scientists have concerns about the nature of the new variants and how effective current vaccines are. Last year, Morocco kept its borders closed, fearing the health system will not be able to cope with the rising numbers of patients seen in Europe.
Ladies and gentlemen, that news out of the country takes us to the end of our 6 p.m. English news. Desiree Trésor Bonnet will be with you when it's exactly 8 p.m. for news in the French language. But until then, do stay tuned to interesting programs over the Republican television. Thanks for watching.